Good afternoon. My name is Jenny Lesser, and I'm the Business Development Manager here at United Training. Welcome to today's webinar, Microsoft Azure Job Roles and Certification Roadmap, presented by Sandra Marin. We are using the GoToWebinar platform for today's session, and we will share a copy of this recording with you. We do encourage participation throughout the webinar, so please use that questions option in your GoToWebinar dashboard. All right, Sandra, you want to go to the next slide? All right, so this webinar is being presented by United Training. We have training solutions for all of your needs. We offer custom training, and we have over 100 subject matter experts. We will deliver them live and online. Oh, there's some cute puppies. And here's just a couple of the topics that we are experts in. We'd love to talk to you about all of your training needs. So we will follow up this webinar with some information, and I will now kick it over to you, Sandra.
Thank you very much, Jenny. Apologize for that. I was trying to set everything up here. Hello, everybody. My name is Sandra Marin. I'm part of the Microsoft Worldwide Learning Organization. I'm very thrilled and honored to be invited today by our learning partner, United Training, to share this time with you talking about Azure certifications and what you can expect and how to think of our portfolio and how to start your journey. We are going to leave room at the end for questions, so please you can send them on the chat as Jenny mentioned, and we will have enough time to answer them. So our goals for today is to set training and certification in context of how developing the right skills will support your digital transformation or how you can support your digital transformation in a company if you are part of an organization. We'll talk in detail about Azure certifications, what is in the portfolio, what we do offer as Microsoft Learn, and we'll help you understand what's available, but more importantly, how to identify the right certifications based on your current role or the roles you are looking for or the roles that you have in your company or in your team. And also we'll share the breadth of resources that we have available to help you prepare for certification. To set context, let's start with the role of the Microsoft Cloud in digital transformation. Our goal at Microsoft is to empower every individual and every organization on the planet to achieve more. In the next revolution, growth is being driven by technology, and our integrated cloud approach creates an unmatched platform for digital transformation. We address the real-world needs of customers and organizations by seamlessly integrating Microsoft 365, Dynamics 365, LinkedIn, GitHub, Microsoft Power Platform, and Azure to unlock business value for every organization, from large enterprises to family-run businesses. And the backbone and foundation of this is Azure. Now, digital transformation is never a one-size-fits-all scenario. But if you think of digital transformation as a journey with incremental steps toward a long-term goal, then it becomes a much less intimidating proposition. There are many examples of digital transformation among our Azure customers, from a large retail company empowering its employees and meeting its customer needs, to a small restaurant creating custom machine learning models to better serve its customers, or a manufacturing company training frontline workers and empowering them through cutting-edge technology like HoloLens. Plenty of examples. Organizations that are embracing digital transformation are seeing significant benefits, including increased agility and being able to get their products to market faster, improve efficiencies in general, reducing cost. So when you think why Azure, is because we can enable anyone from any background and any organization to do more and to achieve more, and ultimately to invent with purpose. And that is how we feel about Azure. We want to invent with purpose in how we think about what we deliver to you, but also we want to enable you to invent with purpose. And we do that in a number of key ways. Let's look more closely at these key promises to you, especially at what Azure can deliver and how we will help you along the way. First, we're going to make sure that we have technology that meets your needs, not only today, but also tomorrow. The cloud is moving fast. Every week, a new technology is coming out. So it's about meeting new capabilities now, but also investing on those in the horizon, from the Internet of Things to artificial intelligence to quantum computing. From a developer perspective, it's about being able to build on your own terms with the frameworks, the tools, and the operating system that you want to help ensure that you have the freedom and the flexibility to work successfully and to deploy your application with quality and confidence every time, anywhere. Then technology is sitting in the public cloud, in the data center, on edge devices, all running in a holistic way in a seamless environment. That seamless environment is essential. Otherwise, running that way is going to be expensive, hard, and insecure. And then there is trust. Nothing is more important than trust, particularly when you're talking about the cloud. It's about addressing and meeting your security and compliance goals. So these are just some of the promises that Azure can offer as you invest in your organization's digital transformation. If you haven't looked at Azure in a while, you might be surprised to see what we have these days. This is a high-level map of the class of services that Azure offers. We currently have more than 2,000 products and services in Azure. You will notice we have extended to the edge. Azure gives you the ability to run application code in the cloud, but also in a consistent way in the edge, whether you are using Azure Stack or Azure Sphere, or all the way to HoloLens and our mixed reality capabilities. These are powerful edge devices that work in connection with the cloud. That's why we talk about hybrid. So we are on premises, in the cloud, and on the edge. You will also see that we offer DevTools, DevOps, and great innovation to the core infrastructure and PaaS services. This is not a webinar about all the stuff in Azure, but this gives you an idea of the potential of things that you can do, that the platform allows you to do. So how can you be sure that you have the skills you need for this tech intensity? The first element in tech intensity is tech capability. Of course, you need essential skills to build on those skills. If you have the latest skills and capability, either you as an individual or in your organization, those skills and capability will allow you to be more innovative. Because you can be more innovative, you gain a competitive advantage, whether that be speed to market or new features or an entirely new way of looking at problems and how technology can solve those problems. When you have tech capability, it's easier to adopt new technology. And now you are in the game because you have tech confidence. Notice that everything starts with having the right skills. Without this, you've got nowhere to go, nothing to build on. It is the technical skill that sets you free, that enables you as an individual or an organization to be successful in this fast-paced moving world. Skills build confidence, and confidence drives productivity, innovation, and growth. So let's take a look at how Azure certifications can build skills intensity. Without the right talent, personally or in your organization, you cannot meet today's demand. Azure certifications are designed to validate technical knowledge and ability in current and in future industry job roles. This means they can help you ensure that you or your organization have the right talent. With Azure certifications, IT pros, developers, data professionals, AI professionals, all of them can validate that they have the necessary skills to cover all the aspects of digital transformation, from managing on-premises, hybrid or cloud infrastructure, to innovating with the best-in-class applications. Also, you can be sure that you can support those apps and infrastructure with data and analytics and everything with security from the ground up. So let's take a closer look at the Azure certifications that we have available depending on these audiences. This is a high-level view, and we're going to go in detail in this in a moment, but I just wanted to show you the extent of our portfolio today. And growing this portfolio as we see more roles emerging. We keep in the market, and as we see that technical professionals need to have specialized skills and to perform in their daily jobs. We'll come back to this in a moment. First, let me show you how we approach learning at Microsoft. We develop learning experiences that identify new and emerging job roles, so you have the skills you need to be prepared in this tech-intensive world. The first step for us is to understand the roles that are needed in digital transformation. Once we identify the roles, we identify what those people need to know, what skills they should have to do their job. So we perform what we call a job task analysis. And this is an exercise that we do using our knowledge and technology expertise, but we also listen to what the market is asking for. People like you, experts, we engage with external experts, analysts. So it's not just Microsoft with our own knowledge, but we actually bring all our community to understand what is needed. And this allows us to align our role definition to meet industry and market needs. So we are addressing the skills and capabilities that people need for the job. And this includes specializations, hands-on experience, practice requirements. This effort sets the blueprint for all the learning content that we create. So everything is aligned. So when we think about roles, we think about what you need and what skills are needed and what training is needed to help you acquire those skills and what makes sense to be a certification. Everything is connected to help you succeed in this digital first world. We offer many training options so individuals, technical professionals, or organizations can choose to learn in a style that fits you best. All these learning experiences help you to be ready for the job and prepare for certification if this is something you want to do. Our collection of learning experiences support the complete learning journey. These experiences, we actually recommend to combine them for better results. So you can have self-paced learning to build practical job skills with easy to access free learning paths, online training. Or you can attend training events to get a unique upskilling experience and partake with peers and colleagues and learn with the community. You can also attend in-depth instructor-led training, either virtually or in person, using Microsoft official courseware. This is instructor-led training delivered by Microsoft certified trainers that work with learning partners like United Training. And you can use all these options to build your foundation for skills validation and recognition with Microsoft certification. Our content is based on real business needs and is aligned to roles, and it combines modalities as you follow your learning journey. So let's take a closer look at how this process leads to Microsoft certification. Our certifications focus on assessing how you apply what you know to solve real business challenges. We've been working and refining our certification portfolio to test, to evaluate the ability to solve problems, to integrate information from multiple sources, to implement solutions within business constraints, and to help you prove that you know how to solve problems and bring specific business outcomes. Our exams and certifications emphasize your ability to demonstrate skills rather than just answering questions about the skills. So our certifications have performance-based labs that map to what people do every day in their work, in their jobs, how they use technology on daily basis to solve business problems. That was a significant shift that we've been doing in the past 3 years to move from our product-based certification portfolio to role-based certification portfolio. So we have 3 types of certifications, and each one validates different aspects on your ability to use technology to solve business problems. We have fundamental certifications, and those validate foundational understanding of Microsoft technologies. They are a springboard into deeper role-based learning paths and certifications. And for these fundamental certifications, you don't need experience because it's foundational understanding of the technology. Then we have the role-based certifications, and these certifications focus on solutions rather than on products, and they validate the technical skills required to perform industry job roles using Microsoft platforms and technologies. And the specialty certifications validate deep technical skills and the ability to manage industry solutions, including third-party solutions on or with Microsoft platforms. So this is how we think of our portfolio. And certification, we have found that is a key component of a learning culture, not only to prove skills and expertise, but actually certification brings real benefits to individuals and organizations. If you are a professional, technology professionals, Azure certifications can help you grow your confidence and expertise. And there are real practical implications around that. IT professionals overwhelmingly report better job effectiveness after achieving a new certification. They are able to implement efficiencies, they have better performance, and they have improved and increased industry knowledge. That's what we have found asking IT professionals. They are better at their jobs. And certifications help you stand out in a competitive job market. Certified professionals get recognized and their expertise is more sought after within their own organizations. And certifications help increase your salary. Certified professionals think Microsoft Azure certifications are an important factor when it comes to increasing earning potential. So yeah, certification is important for your career, but what about companies and organizations? Well, it turns out that globally recognized and industry-endorsed certifications are the best way to prove or to validate that a person has the skills to do the job. Here is a sobering stat. 60% of IT decision makers believe that skills gap costs their employees between 3 and 8 hours per week. Imagine a whole day lost every week for every employee just because they haven't been trained or they don't have the skills that they need to do the job. And let's look at role-based certifications. IT professionals who achieve relevant role-based certifications perform on average 26% better than their uncertified colleagues with the same responsibilities. These certified employees add value with increased productivity, faster troubleshooting, and fewer skill gaps. They are not losing time, they are gaining time. They are more productive, more efficient, and they bring more creative solutions to complex technical problems. Most employers also believe that IT certifications save time and resources when they are evaluating for new candidates. Certification simplifies talent identification and recruiting, and they make the screening process easier, and they help to distinguish individuals. So there is benefit from getting certified or from helping your employees to get certified if you are an organization. So now let's go back to the Azure certifications portfolio so we can walk on how to decide which certification is the best for you. As I mentioned before, we have certifications. We have a very broad portfolio, and some of our certifications are good for a particular audience, like IT professionals, infrastructure, or developers, or some certifications are very specific for data professionals. But actually, a lot of our certifications are good for more than one type of professional or professional profile. So let's go dive a little deeper on this so you can see what I mean. I'm gonna bring all the certifications that we recommend for different audiences. So I'm gonna start with certifications for IT pros. So these, and I have two slides for our IT pro community. So these are the certifications that we recommend for IT professionals to validate the skills that they need to build, deploy, and manage on-premises, hybrid, or cloud infrastructure solutions. Although the certifications that are here and in the next slide are primarily for IT professionals, several of them are actually suitable for other audiences. You will see in a moment. The primary certification for IT professionals is the Azure Administrator Associate. This we recommend to every IT professional. If you are an IT pro, this is your starting point. All the other certifications that you will see here for IT pros assume that you have a strong Azure Administrator knowledge and experience. So if you are thinking of other certifications, like the ones that you see here in this image, all of them will think that you have your Azure administrator skills in place. Azure Administrator is not a pre-requirement just for one of them, but the skills and the knowledge is a strong recommended. So the Azure Administrator and the related training is about all the skills to implement, monitor, and manage Azure solutions, including all aspects of compute, storage, network, and security. Now let's move to Security Engineer. All Azure certifications include a security component, but Azure Security Engineer is a deep dive into security controls and threat protection. It's all about identity and access and security across data applications, hybrid and cloud networks, and security for end-to-end infrastructure in general. This certification is a nice complement for the Azure Administrator. And as I mentioned before, this Azure Security Engineer assumes that you have your administrator skills in place. We have a recent addition to the portfolio. Like 5 months ago, we released the Azure Stack Hub Operator certification. And this is a very interesting certification for hybrid environments. If your skills are in bringing cloud agility to on-premises environments, this is the certification you should consider, because it's all about managing cloud on-premises. Then we have the DevOps engineer. A critical step in IT is securing continuous integration and continuous delivery. And DevOps engineer expert is the certification that addresses this capability. This certification is expert level. You can see in the title. And is a certification that has a strong requirement. In order to earn the DevOps Engineer certification, you must also earn either the Azure Administrator or the Azure Developer certification. DevOps requires either administrator or developer strong skills. So that's why there is a pre-requirement. So if you're thinking of the DevOps Engineer certification, if you are coming from the infrastructure side, you probably want to get the Azure Administrator first and then go for DevOps. If you are coming from the developer side, you want to get the developer certification. We'll get there in a moment. But you can see that this is one of those certifications that is suitable for two different audiences, IT pros and developers. Then we have Azure Solutions Architect. This is another level expert certification. These are the two expert certifications we have at the moment in the portfolio. An Azure Solutions Architect has the skills to design end-to-end solutions for Azure, considering infrastructure, apps, data. It's the most comprehensive certification and is suitable for IT pros, for developers, for data professionals. So if you are an architect in Azure, you probably have strong knowledge on infrastructure, on applications, on data, and how to combine all those things to build end-to-end solutions. So this will be the certification for you. Now let's explore Azure certifications for, the second, I was forgetting my specialties. So we have two more certifications that are especially for IT professionals. So we have, these are our specialty certifications. And as I mentioned before, a specialty for us means deep knowledge on solutions, on first or third party platforms. So we have the first specialty certifications is Azure for SAP workloads. This certification is designed for SAP architects or engineers with extensive experience building, deploying, migrating, and operating SAP solutions on Azure. So it's very specialized. And we just launched like a month ago the Windows Virtual Desktop specialty. So professionals with this certification are actually highly sought after in these times of remote working. This certification is for professionals who plan, deliver, and manage virtual desktop experiences and remote apps for any device on Azure. This is the most recent addition to our portfolio. It's still in beta version, but we've seen a lot of interest and we have a lot of beta takers for this certification. So it's strongly recommended. These professionals are getting a lot of demand these days. Now let's go to developers. The primary certificate, so these certifications validate all the skills to innovate with best-in-class applications. And the primary certification is Azure Developer. It's the obvious one, and this is about the skills necessary to build, maintain, and optimize Azure apps using first and third-party services. So this is the primary certification for developers building applications in the cloud. But we also have one of our specialties for IoT solutions. So we have the Azure IoT Developer. And this certification is focused on creating IoT solutions and validating the skills required to implement, optimize, manage, and operate the full Azure IoT solution, including the devices. And it also validates the skills to process and manage the data generated by those devices. So it's pretty comprehensive of what represents an IoT solution. Now, the Azure AI Engineer Associated is another of the really cool certifications. We love this one, and it's one of the most sought after by people getting certifications. This Azure AI Engineer lives in the intersection of apps and data and AI solution. So it's good for both developers and for data and AI professionals. And this certification validates all the skills needed to embed artificial intelligence capabilities into applications. So this includes cognitive services, machine learning, knowledge mining, conversational AI. It's a pretty cool certification. We already mentioned DevOps engineer, and DevOps engineer is, as I mentioned before, it has a requirement, and the requirement can be Azure Administrator or Azure Developer Associate. And we also talk about the Azure Solutions Architect Expert certification that also applies for developers. And now let's talk about Azure certifications for data and AI professionals. So we have within data and AI, we have like three distinct paths, if you will. So we have one path that is for the database and data solutions. So we have the Azure Database Administrator Associate, and these certifications cover all the way data, analytics, and AI. So the Azure Database Administrator Associate is the first one, and is to validate the skills required to plan, implement, design, optimize, and operate hybrid and cloud data platform solutions using Microsoft SQL Server and or Azure Data Services. So think of the Azure Database Administrator as the DBA for cloud and hybrid data solutions. Then we have the Azure Data Engineer Associate, and this is a certification for people that is preparing data for analytics solutions. So this is all about data management, how we storage, process, and manage and transform data and get the data ready for analytics solutions. And then we have the Data Analyst Associate, which is how we take that data and how we help businesses to use that data to prepare, model, visualize, and analyze data and get insight from data using Microsoft Power BI. So these three certifications are actually related because you have the Database Administrator associated managing the data infrastructure. You have the Data Engineer working with that data and preparing that data, getting it ready for great analytics solutions. And then you have the data analyst working with that data and providing insights to the company. You probably are hearing my dogs. They like these certifications a lot. Then we have the AI certifications. So we have the Azure Data Scientist. This is a certification about implementing and running machine learning workloads on Azure. The Azure Data Scientist certification doesn't prove that you are a data scientist. It proves that as a data scientist, you know how to do data science with and on Azure. It's a pretty cool certification in the AI space. And we already talked about the Azure AI Engineer certification and the Azure Solutions Architect certification. So these last two, AI Engineer and Solutions Architect, you can see that are suitable for more than one type of professional. Now, you probably have heard about the fundamental certifications, and I'm going to talk about those in a moment, right now, actually. So I mentioned our fundamental certifications validate foundational understanding of Microsoft technologies. So if you, and I have the three certifications here in Azure. So we have Azure Fundamentals, Azure AI Fundamentals, and Azure Data Fundamentals, and I have an extra one I'll talk about in a moment. So if you are just starting on Azure, or if you're a cloud beginner, we recommend you to consider the Azure Fundamental certification, and this will allow you to validate foundational knowledge of cloud services and how Azure provides those services. This certification is not a prerequisite or a requirement for any other Azure certification, but it's always a good point to start. And even if you don't take the certification, make sure you take the Azure Fundamentals training associated, because it will help you to cover the bases. Then we have the Azure AI Fundamentals. So this validates foundational knowledge of machine learning and artificial intelligence concepts and how Azure and Azure services addresses those topics. So it's about AI Fundamental, it's about common machine learning and AI world. You don't need to be a professional in AI to do the Azure AI fundamentals or a developer. Some basic general programming might help, but it's not required. And then if you are more in the data space, then if you are a developer or a data and AI pro, and you are beginning to work with data in the cloud, that's when we recommend the Azure Data Fundamentals. This certification can help you prove your knowledge of core data concepts and how they are implemented using Azure Data Services. So I talk about another certification that is not part of the Azure portfolio, but is actually very interesting for some roles that work with Azure. So it's the Microsoft Power Platform Fundamental Certification. And I like to recommend this because it provides a good knowledge foundation for the data analysts or for Azure developers. And it's all about Power Platform, all capabilities included in the Power Platform, including Power Apps and Power BI. So in particular for data analysts and for developers, I always recommend this certification, or at the very least the training, because it's a nice complement to it. So this is just a recap of our certification portfolio. This is what we have in market today. And I just want to leave you here with a thought of how we are committed to reviewing our certifications portfolio periodically to help ensure that they remain relevant, that they are technically accurate, and that they are assessing the skills that you need to thrive in this digital world. So our review makes sure that we are not only assessing the right skills, but that we are also rationalizing the skills across the different certifications. So we don't have duplications, that we are not repeating with the different certifications, that we have a coherent portfolio with less duplication of skills and with increased emphasis on what is truly important for each job role. Our portfolio maintenance includes adding new certifications as we see new roles emerging in the industry. I mentioned the Windows Virtual Desktop specialty. That's one of those. Like we saw with remote working, this was becoming an urgent role to address, and we did it. So that's something that we do, adding new roles as we see the market needs it. But we also update current roles to make sure that they are true to the actual job of the people in those roles, but also removing certifications that are no longer needed. So let me, I hope you had kind of like an opportunity to talk about the different certifications that might be the best for the skills you want to develop or you want to prove. And let's go see some resources that would be interesting for you. So the first resource I want to introduce is the Azure Training Journey. We released this resource a couple of weeks ago, and it shows you the full journey of how we recommend you to consume and to follow these different certifications and combine depending on what your personal or organization goals are. So you will see in this Azure Training Journey all the options that you have available, and hopefully this will give you an idea of of creating a path and like what to do first, what to do next. And in this Azure training journey, we are including the links to the different modalities of training content that we have, self-paced learning, instructor-led training, and events, Microsoft Virtual Training Day. So you will see a lot of the courses that United Training provides. You will actually be, you will see them in this training journey. So hopefully you'll be able to identify your goals, and based on that, you'll be able to work with United Training to work on your skilling plan. And we have more resources available to you. So we have, and hopefully you'll get this this day with all these links, but we have official curriculum to help you prepare for the job and for certification. So I already mentioned we have Microsoft official courses for certification and for topics that are not certification related, and that's where you want to work with United Training to find options on how you can get this training. And we also have self-paced learning, which is a nice complement to your official courses, to your instructor-led training. If you are preparing for certification, we have Microsoft Certified Official Practice Test. This will help you practice and rehearse what an exam would look like, so you have more information. And we have a lot of resources to help you complete your continue your learning journey. Microsoft Docs, our documentation. We have the Azure Developer Guide, the Azure Architecture Center. We have the Microsoft Azure Well Architected Framework and the Cloud Adoption Framework for Azure. All these resources have different depths of expertise, but will help you in your learning journey and in the projects you are delivering. And we would like to invite you to stay connected with Microsoft Learn. So we have a blog, we have a community, we have a newsletter, and we are very active on social. So please follow us, because we are permanently releasing new information of what's available, updates to certification, updates to training. So this is a nice way to stay connected with us. And I always leave the best resource that we have at the end, because I want to pause and talk about our learning partners. We, and in particular, I'm going to talk about United Training. This is the best resource we have to help you in your skilling journey. Our learning partners and United Training in particular, they offer a breadth of solutions to suit your learning needs. They combine online, classroom, self-paced learning. They have hands-on labs, exam preparation sessions, assessments. So when you work with a learning partner and with United Training, you get the best in class training solutions. They can give you local market relevance, expertise, language skills. So they work with you to create your customized skilling plan based on your needs. And they have all the options and alternatives to follow your time needs, your availability needs, different modalities. And United Training is expert in a lot of the stuff that I mentioned before for Azure: data center, cloud productivity, data analytics, application development, application integration. They have all this expertise, so you know that with them, you are covered on your training needs for Azure. And now I'm back to you, Jenny, for a final remark before we go to questions. Oh, I missed my final remark here, and is this is your learning journey, and each company, each individual has a unique learning journey, but the process is similar. You identify your learning goals, and you create your learning plan working with a learning partner and working with United Training and combining all these different learning offerings. So make sure you identify your roles, skills, and learning paths. And you have free self-paced learning, but also you have United Training here to help you build that learning plan and follow it through. So now for sure, back to you, Yanni.
Thank you so much, Sandra. That was a lot of great information. I did want to share that right now we have a great offer to help you start your certification path. We are offering all of the fundamentals courses for free when you buy the exam. So the details are here on the screen. We will include a copy of this with the follow-up email, along with a copy of the recording from today's presentation. So I know we have a couple of questions here for you, Sandra, and if you guys have other questions, please type those in and we will get to those. So Sandra, our first question here is, do each of these certifications stand on their own, or are there prerequisites? For example, do you need to have the Azure fundamentals before getting the Azure AI fundamental certification?
There are no strong requisites. So if you want to go and do the AI fundamentals or the data fundamentals and you didn't get the Azure fundamentals, you can do it. We always recommend to do the training and get the certification that makes sense for you in your professional or organizational goals. So we always recommend to do, if every time, do the Azure fundamentals training. You want to opt, you can opt for the certification, and now we have this beautiful offer here, but at least make sure you do the training, because the Azure fundamentals will cover you the basics. Same, if you are eventually trying to get the AI engineer or the data scientist, you will need the foundational concepts that come with AI fundamentals. So you don't need the certification, but you need the knowledge and the concepts. Same if you are going for database administrator or data engineer or data analyst, you will need the data fundamentals concepts. So it's up to you to go for the certifications, but we always recommend the training. Now, the only certification that has a true requirement is DevOps engineer. If you want to earn the DevOps engineer certification and have the badge in your transcript, you must have also either Azure administrator or Azure developer. So that is the only strong requirement. If you don't have one of those, you won't get the badge for DevOps when you pass the exam. All the other is recommended training and skills. I mentioned Azure administrator training and skills are needed for every IT Pro certification. So you be sure to have that that knowledge and those skills.
Great. And then another question came in asking if you have an idea of what the entry salary would be for somebody just getting into Azure.
That's I don't have data, but in one of the slides there was a statistic on salary. So once you get this, be sure to research this Nigel Frank Azure salary report. This is a headhunter, and they do this salary report often. So they have some information in there. We work together to make sure that they have the most recent information about our portfolio, but the survey is independent. They own the survey and the data. But this will give you an idea on some salary. And we have other, I can send some, because we have other partners that we work with, like Pearson VUE, which is our exam provider. They also have some salary information. So Jenny, let's make sure we include that when we send the email to the attendees.
Sure. Sounds good. Okay, and then are there other requirements for the data analyst?
For the data analyst, there are no requirements in terms of pre-requirements or requisites, but there are knowledge requirements. Like if you are planning on sitting for the exam for the data analyst, you need to be very good at modeling, visualizing, analyzing data in Power BI. So you be sure to have that knowledge. We recommend the data fundamentals concepts. So if you are sitting for a data analyst training and certification, you probably want to do the data data fundamentals before, just to be sure that you have those skills, that you've refreshed those skills. But that's the only requirement. It's all about Power BI, the data analyst.
Great, thank you. And if a certification requires more than one exam to pass, what do I receive if I just pass one of the exams required?
Every time you pass an exam, you get an exam badge, and that exam will be visible in your certification transcript. If, like, for example, the Azure Solutions Architect is right now the only certification that requires two exams, the AZ303 and the AZ304. If you pass only one of the exams, all you will see in your transcript is that you passed that exam. Once you pass the second exam, then you will see your certification badge, and then you will be officially Microsoft certified as Azure Solutions Architect Expert. So if a certification in general, not only for Azure, but in general, requires more than one exam, for each exam that you passes, you have that exam in your transcript. But to get the certification badge, you need to pass all the exams required.
Okay, and the last question right now, unless a couple other people have some questions, do you need experience to pass the exams or earn the certifications?
If we are talking about the fundamentals exams, you don't need experience, because fundamentals exams are foundational knowledge. If you take the training, you have a very, very, very high chance to pass the certification. Or if you have the knowledge, uh, with the platform and the technology, you don't need experience, because those are the introductory certifications. Now, if we are talking about role-based and specialty certifications, yes, the training is not enough. You will need experience on the job and with the platform. And this, we have done this on purpose. The way these exams are designed for role-based and for specialty certifications is that the questions are designed to prove your expertise doing something, not just the documentation on how to do something. So the questions are designed as use cases and how you apply the technology to solve a problem. So most likely, if you don't have experience or you haven't used the platform, most likely you won't pass the exams only by doing the training.
Okay, that was great feedback. Thank you so much, Sandra. So right now we don't have any other questions, so we'll let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your day. Like I've said, we will share a copy of the deck and the recording with you via email, and we hope you have a great day. Thank you, Sandra.
No, thank you. It's been a pleasure. I hope this was a valuable use of your time. And thank you, Jenny and United Training, for inviting me today. Looking forward to sharing more time with you later.
Perfect. Thank you. Bye, guys.